you want, what you gonna do when Sheriff John Brown come for you?
The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty is recorded live with the men and women of law enforcement. All suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Now, here's your host, Iredell County Sheriff Darren Campbell.
Bad boys, what you gonna do?
Well, everybody, thanks for joining the Good, the Bad, and Guilty. I'm Sheriff Darren Campbell, along with Chief. I'm sorry,
I may be captain. I don't know. Did I get demoted? Sheriff, can you help a brother out?
Well, here with the Good, the Bad, and Guilty. And, hey, listen, sorry we missed last week. I know there was a replay, but with things was going on. But it's cold. But today we come back. Feels like it's about 85 outside.
It's beautiful outside.
Snow's gone, and it's good.
CJ, could you wire us up to do this show outside? See, Sheriff, we could be doing this out on the porch.
So, hey, it's good. So, I'll go ahead and introduce our guest. We'll get back to the details. Is Sheriff Chad Pennell of Alexander. Chad, you've worked with us forever.
Forever.
Forever. We're not, okay, first of all, we're not allowed to tell stories on this show, so it's got to be good.
All right, I got you.
But it'll be good. But everybody that's listening today, obviously you can listen to us 100.7 FM, 105.9 FM, 1400 AM, WSIC app, and on your Android and Facebook. Please leave us a comment. We're trying to watch them as we go, so if you got any questions, send a message. And we appreciate everybody joining us today. Bill, we got to give credits off to our sponsor, Harrison. So if you'd like to brag a little bit on them.
Well, I will, but I'm going to brag on you, on us three, and then I'll brag on you two guys here in just a minute. But I was just sitting here trying to do the quick math. You know, we say that we've been around forever. There's over 90 years of law enforcement experience sitting right here.
Speak for yourself, I'm only 12.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
But no, I mean, think about it. It's been a long time, and I've had the pleasure of working with both you gentlemen. So, but we'll talk more about that here in just a little bit. But what I want to talk about right now is Harrison's our lovely sponsor for the Good, the Bad, and the Guilty here on WSIC. From the job site to the rodeo to the backyard hammock. Now, last time that we were speaking, Sheriff, it's too cold for the backyard hammock. But today would be just about right with a little blanket out there and the breeze blowing. So it's almost hammock season. But Harrison's, Sheriff Pennell, they got you covered.
They do.
They're the Southeast leader in Carhartt Aerial workwear, and nobody, and I mean nobody, has more in-stock work boots. And it's about getting time to resole some work boots. So it's about time. They get you ready. They have you ready to go boot scooting in Western favorites like Cinch, Rock and Roll Denim, and Wrangler. And with the crazy weather swings, as y'all know we have experience, you can get your short sleeve shirts or your insulated snow bibs. One or the other. Harrison's has got you covered. And if you give it about 10, 15 minutes, the weather will change and you'll need a t-shirt or some snow bibs. So just go on down there and get you some. Visit their Mooresville location or shop online at harrisonsusa.com. Harrison's, for home, for work, for Western, and wow. And wow, I'm done.
Good group.
Yes, sir.
Good support of law enforcement.
Yeah, they are. They are. Y'all get y'all stuff
We
down
do.
there?
We got our stuff from them.
See,
yes,
there
sir.
you go.
Yeah, all of our stuff's tailored and all of our stuff's bought. They do good. And they keep what we can't store in stock, which is good for
Absolutely.
us. So we appreciate them sponsoring our show.
Do they still have a Hickory location? Are they still at a Hickory?
We're on 321.
Okay.
We go 321 over there in Caldwell.
Okay.
That's where we get ours.
Good deal.
So, Chad, obviously, this not to be disrespectful, but I'm probably going instead of Sheriff Pennell, I'll probably end up referring to you as Chad.
I'm all right with Chad.
So, we've done it. So, listen, we appreciate you being here. There again, Sheriff of Alexander County. You're in your first term.
Yes, getting ready to start the second.
And you don't, this is election, 'tis the season of elections. And
It is.
Yes.
CJ, one of our loyal listeners says, sir, that we have no picture, only audio. If you're on that over there, sir. Thank you, loyal listener, for letting us know.
We're going to fire CJ.
Now, if Justin's listening, Sheriff, you know we can't fire CJ.
You know,
CJ gave me my own button, and he lets you have the bell. There you go.
Just in case y'all thought I lost it. So, Chad, no disrespect, but I try to, trooper, SBI agents, everybody, but I've known you for Chad for years, like Bill said, probably between us about 90 years.
Yeah.
That's really telling how old we are. So, well, listen, introduce yourself.
Chad Pennell. I've worked in Alexander County since 1993.
Gosh, you're about older than me.
I'm 50, getting ready to be 55. So I don't know how old you are, but I
Keep
just told my
along,
age.
Keep moving along. I was talking about years of service.
Oh, well,
age, but
34 is where I'm
anyway.
on.
Now you're still ahead. Okay, you're ahead.
Yep,
About
yep.
that.
Yep, 34 is where I'm at. And I've just come up through the ranks and done a little bit of everything. Detention, road, run with you a couple times with the dogs, detective, narcotics,
SWAT team just not, when Don
Yep.
Brown, our good buddy in Catawba, had their issue with the biker gang, I said, Chad and I think it was like a Sunday morning at 1 o'clock in the morning. We're up just below the dairy bar at the county line
Yes.
with our SWAT team. So we get to see each other just at weird times.
Right.
Yep.
So Chad, tell me, you're in your first term. So how is being sheriff different? And I can answer the same thing now. It's been about 10 years for me, but yes, Bill.
Well, before you ask that question,
All right.
let me just go ahead and gild the lily here. Let me say this for our listeners who are watching and listening today. I have the distinct pleasure of sitting with two sheriffs, two duly elected sheriffs in their respective counties that have absolutely no competition in the primary. So both of these gentlemen will obviously be reelected come November. When the general's over, they'll both be sworn in December. And I have had the great pleasure of working with Sheriff Pennell since 1993 when I started in Taylorsville.
That's right.
You and I worked night shift together, and there were many times you and I were the only two in the entire
Only
county.
one's working. That's right.
So, and I know you backed me up many times on some calls. I appreciate that. We have the scars
me
to
as
prove
well.
it. And then while I was up there, we both had the pleasure of working with Sheriff Campbell when you were a canine officer. You came
Yeah,
up.
we
and-
had to come up to Alexander and save the day.
All the time because we didn't have a dog back then.
Yeah, we didn't have one. And then
Yeah, Chad can never call unless it was time to get off. Whenever it's time for us to go home, Chad's calling for a dog.
that's because
exactly
we
right.
worked 24 hours a day. We
Yeah,
just didn't
whatever.
work, hours when we got to go home. That's one of those things, Sheriff. When it started, we had to be there till it was over.
That's
'cause
right.
We were all we had.
That's right.
So, but yeah, it is a distinct pleasure to get to be here with you two guys. One is friends, and two is coworkers, and one is an employee. But for us to have started basically back in the early '90s,
Yes.
and all the things that we've had a chance to see and do and get to work together on and
Been
work
involved
with.
in, yeah.
So,
Chad, one little bit of housekeeping. I did not tell you that screen up there that's counting down. It's almost hit a minute. That's when we'll take our first break. So we'll try to wrap it up. Just listeners know, but I just want to let you know. So
I got you.
What's different? You've been in your first term. What's different from being? And obviously, we're both blessed by great citizens, great employees, exception of Bill. But great employees. No, I'm just kidding.
what are you laughing for, CJ? Come on, I thought you was on my side.
We're very blessed to have good communities that support us. And so, what you seen?
Well, when I became sheriff, I had some dealings with detention whenever I was the captain, but not to the extent that you have as you're the sheriff. That was the one big change. And then the day that I took office, it'll take a little bit for this, so we might want to wait till after
Yeah,
I
okay,
get it
we'll
out.
come back. 'Cause that is the day you took off. A lot of people don't understand. We assume all lawsuits. We assume everything. When you come in the office, you put your name on the line. So
It almost starts once upon a time.
It really does. Yes.
But we'll be back in about 2.5 minutes. We're going to take a break for, like I say, about 2.5 minutes. And come on back if you do. Comment on Facebook. We'll get to it. And we appreciate everybody listening.
CJ, let me start off by saying thank you.
No, Chad, it's my show. Let me say, that ain't my music.
Thank you for playing my music, CJ. I appreciate it. That sounds like something Alfred Hitchcock or
It's interesting.
some kind of detective music there.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you so much for taking your time to tune in today to The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty here on WSIC. If you're listening on Facebook, send us a text message or write in a question. We'll do our best to answer that. I'm absolutely honored and tickled to death to be here today with Iredell County Sheriff Darren Campbell and Alexander County Sheriff Chad Pennell. I've had the distinct pleasure of knowing both of these gentlemen for many, many years and working with both of them before they both became sheriff, if you're just tuning in. But Sheriff Pennell, before we went to break, you got to a poignant point in your career of the day you got sworn in as sheriff. Tell our listeners how that felt.
And got to remember, you had 30 years to sheriff's office already.
That's
correct?
right. I did.
And you had military time too, didn't you, sir?
I did.
Okay.
Now that was National Guard, but
Okay.
I mean, same thing.
Yeah,
I was
still military.
I was in for 6 years total, and got a college degree out of it, so that was a good thing. And
When you're talking about before you got elected, you got to remember the campaign. Now, I remember
2 years.
You got to give credit to your spouses, your wives,
Oh.
mine as well. We'll get some brownie points for this. We couldn't do it without them. They'll defend
Oh,
us.
no, there's
And
no
they
way.
get more offended than we did. I mean, there'd be stuff.
I've got tough skin, so I mean, it doesn't bother me. But now she don't like it at all.
Same way with
At
mine.
all.
So she's
And
listening. Yeah.
my wife and your wife talked a lot during the campaign.
How
My
to deal with
campaign was 2 years because I was running against an incumbent
Yeah.
that had been there for 13 years. Good friend of mine, still a good friend of mine, and it was a tough campaign in a long time. I didn't think it'd ever get over with.
Oh yeah.
And then I remember the day I got sworn in.
Was it a blur?
It was sort of a blur because that day my wife had set up like a meal for all the officers. So we
Also, remember she planned you a trip.
she did, and that sort of messed up my first week of SLI that I've got to do this November.
There, she done unfollowed me on Facebook.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it's over.
But so that day, I got sworn in. First day I got to walk in the office. I walked in the front door. Somebody had to let me in, open up my office to get in. I met with the command staff, and I had a commissioners meeting that night that they were going to approve us to get SROs for every school. And I had to come up with what it's going to cost.
I remember
And get
us-
sworn in.
you was
And
calling
get
me.
sworn
I
in.
remember that now.
And
I
it
remember
was, we're talking hours is all I had to come in there and give them a proposal of what I thought it was going to cost us to be able to do it. And it was like that whole day was a blur. And it worked out because we had vehicles, we had equipment. We was able to do it for, a very realistic price, if you want to mean. But that was an interesting day for sure.
It changes. And then when you find out you're responsible, I don't know how many you house, but you are responsible for keeping somebody, feeding somebody, make sure they get medical in the jail, which is it and civil, which you're now responsible for that. And all lawsuits previous that you didn't have nothing to do with come to you.
That I
you
do
inherit
now.
that as well.
That is right. Along with all the investigations that, that may have been going on.
In the evidence room.
Yeah. And, oh, mercy.
And I did have a head start on you because I was still there, so I was pretty much up to date. But once you get in and
Yeah, mine was, I didn't get to go in the day I got sworn in. It was about 2 or 3 o'clock, got sworn in at 12. I walked in for the office the first time. It's different.
well, I do remember now you called about the SROs because we had at that time we have SROs in every school, and Chad was asking, well, how do you place them? How do you budget? And obviously we work great with the school system, but you didn't have no advance warning. You just had to put the numbers together. I do. It's funny how I remember that.
Well, a lot of people don't know. The Sheriff's Association, we're very close, and they help us so much. But they appoint a mentor sheriff. Well, mine just happens to be, Darren.
The reason you're unopposed.
And well, he very well could be.
No.
And I'm sorry I called you Darren, but I'm just so used to. I mean, we've worked together for so long, and it's good for me. Not knowing the sheriff part, knowing everything else. When you go in, you might know everything else that's going on, but once you take that office and you're the sheriff, it's different. And having someone that you can call and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. What do you think about it? And you got somebody that's got some experience. You got somebody that can give you a little bit of, hey, yeah, but you need to think about this. And, being a sheriff, you got to think more than just, what's right in front of you. You got to think of the big picture sometimes. And that big picture can cause us new sheriffs some problems.
And a lot of, and that sort of goes in, Bill, some of the difference between sheriff and, say an appointed chief or something. But, we made a promise and we swore an oath, and the people entrust us with their vote, which is one of the most sacred things that you can. It's hard to put, I don't know how to explain it, but put your name out there and then have people behind the ballot box say, yeah, we trust you and you'll do it, but we have to be transparent. You have to be ethical.
Yes.
Something may happen.
And just one thing, sir, if I can interrupt you, and to maybe help our listeners understand, when you two gentlemen were elected, you're it. You're it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You're the highest elected official, the highest law enforcement officer in your respective counties. A police chief or somebody else, they work at the pleasure of a mayor, and the mayor at the pleasure of the city council and or other boards. You two gentlemen work for the citizens of your respective counties, and your job interview is every day, and you're hired every 4 years.
Yes.
And apparently y'all have done a pretty good job, Sheriff. Now this is your twice you've been unopposed. Sheriff Pennell, this is your first time being unopposed. So to me, ladies and gentlemen, that speaks volumes as to how these prospective counties think about these two gentlemen and the job that they've done.
Well, and we both, Chad and I as well, both, and you come up through the sheriff's office. I understand it. We understand the constitutional side of it. We got some great police chiefs. They do.
100%.
They
100%.
One thing I see is and I'm like, how do you please? Okay, I'm not talking no specific board here in Iredell, maybe across the state. How in the world do you please that board and still do enforcement efforts? Where, that's a lot of people ask the difference between elected and this.
Yes.
Us, we're not really. Commissioners can't come and tell me to stop an investigation.
That's right.
Can't tell me to not investigate them.
That's right.
Where you're a little bit more restrained when you work for a board and a mayor or a city manager.
Yeah, and that wasn't to cast any shade on any police chief.
No.
No. But what I'm saying is,
It is.
You guys answer to the people of the county. You're elected positions, and don't.
And I think it makes me feel more accountable.
It does.
A different perspective. We get those phone calls. I know you get those phone calls of people. We were talking before the show. I had a complaint recently about a handicap parking place. Who are they going to call? They're going to call that sheriff to say, hey, I need you to take care of this. Or, where it's different with a police chief. It's a lot different.
And it's a very humbling experience. Me, I keep my phone on time. It starts
Me
about
too.
6 in the morning. It can go up to 11, 12. I mean, most people, but I give it out for a reason because
Yes.
we're accountable to people. You can't
That's
turn off
right.
at 5 o'clock.
No.
It is. And
Now, my wife may
it's
not like
humbling.
that sometimes. I got a phone call, I think it was 3 weeks ago. A neighbor's dog was barking too loud about 4 o'clock in the morning. They called me for me to call it in, for them to go respond. And you have those every once, and you have to treat them just like anybody else and talk to them and do what you got to do to deal with whatever that response may need to be.
And that is it. And I think Bill said the buck stopped. You're right. If we make a decision, deputies are basically our right arm. Whatever they do is in the name of us. And
That's right.
there's a lot of liability on that. And if it's tough to come from another profession to understand the jail, the civil side, and it's a lot. But
I mean, there's other law enforcement officers that work various parts of it, but unless you've worked in a jail or you understand civil process or you have relationship with the court officers, the tax office, all these other things, you really don't know what it's like. And I mean, just talking to you on the phone occasionally, working with you day to day, obviously I'm not in that seat, but I see the pressure and I see the things that you gentlemen have to do day to day as sheriff as part of your elected position.
It is, and we're there. We signed up for it 24/7.
That's right.
We signed up for it. The buck stops here. Hey, we're accountable. If our guys mess up, hey, it's on us.
Yep.
We can't. I can't control what 340 some deputies do, but we're going to answer for what they do. And
That's
I think
right.
about people, and that's like if you have an issue going on, say there's lawsuits or something alleged in different agencies. If we're involved in it, I'm gonna do what's right. All the way through the district attorney. That's one thing that we owe it to the people. We signed
Absolutely.
up for. Sure. Hey, you was talking about a little bit about mentor sheriffs. Mine's all gone now. They're all gone. So I'm glad, but we got to give a hats off North Carolina Sheriff Association.
Absolutely.
Eddie Caldwell has been there forever. We found out yesterday Eddie had a 2026 plan back probably in like 1918, but I'm just kidding. But we will have a new executive vice president come. I think July 1st, right?
July
around there,
1st, that's right.
Which will be Lauren Earnhardt. So, I've got to say, and I don't know if he's listening to this, but Eddie is one of those that works 80 hours a week, 10 o'clock at night. He cares more about the officer of sheriff. Has been a absolute superpower at North Carolina Sheriff Association, and we'll have a new one.
Yes, and he's also a good friend. I mean, you know, a lot of people don't know, but he has a residence in Alexander County. So
I caught it. What? Either way, you know what?
Yeah,
what you're talking about.
Yeah,
He'll never give
he
you a
has
straight answer.
no, but he is. He's around.
He's a legend.
He's personable. You call him, and he's going to talk to you, and he's going to take the time to talk to you, and
give you the right answer.
Always.
There is no I think or this is a guess. It is
Yes.
the correct answer.
Absolutely.
He is like just old Southern school manners. How are you? Take care. And one
Yes.
thing, Chad, if you've ever traveled, and I did for 2 years steady, and we'll quit talking about his ice cream fetish. Loves ice cream. No matter.
I've heard that.
He's gonna eat ice cream,
I've heard that.
but he's still in shape, skinny as a bone.
Yeah, and he likes to eat. I remember it's not been that long ago. Well, it's been a little bit. We were having an issue, and he's in Alexander County, and it was with one of the legislation things that we were getting ready to deal with.
Yes.
And he had a quick meeting at the Alexander County Sheriff's Office, and I bought some food, and he was all upset because we paid for the food
Oh, yeah.
instead of
that's it.
instead of the Sheriff's Association
And he
paying
would get
for
mad
it.
if we're sitting there bragging on him, but hats off. I wish him
Oh,
the best. We
yes,
still
I do
got-
too.
100%.
Still got some months with him.
Yep.
Ron's going to do a great job, and
Yes.
there again, you're in good hands, or at least we are. We feel very to please 100 sheriffs across the state. One person is
It's hard to do.
almost. I want that job.
I wouldn't
So
either.
in the 20 seconds that we have left, listeners, it's
Send
going to
some
be
messages.
it's going to be fast fire questions for the sheriffs when we come back. So if you've ever wondered what it's like or want to ask questions or have questions asked to two sheriffs here in Iredell County, tune in. We're going to be back in about 2.5 minutes. Thank you for taking your time to tune in today to the Good, the Bad, and the Guilty.
Good, dude. I'm not even gonna comment. Chad,
Ladies and
that
gentlemen,
must be
welcome
just
to
for you.
Hip Hop Central. No. No, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for taking your time to tune in today and listen to us here on The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty. And
Might be scarred by the time. It's finished.
you might be scarred. Thank you, CJ, for that music for Sheriff Campbell. But listeners, this is going to be an interesting couple segments. I did several questions, thought of several questions, researched several questions, and having two elected sheriffs with us today. This is going to be fast fire, maybe fast fire answer segment. Okay.
Chad, this is normally we would not do this. But
It's just
see how long
fine.
Bill's
No,
recording.
I think it's a good
Okay.
compare and contrast for our two sheriffs. So, gentlemen, whoever wants to answer, go first, or both of you answer.
Guess first.
What are the biggest public misconceptions about the sheriff's office or office of sheriff? Sheriff Pennell.
The main thing, people call it a department more than anything else, not realizing that being an elected official makes it an office. And a lot of officers that come in from police departments or somewhere else that don't understand that they work at the pleasure of the sheriff. And pretty much anybody at the sheriff's office works at the pleasure. It's an appointed position. You're there, and if you don't toe the line, you can be gone just as fast as you get there.
And just a comment that I want you to add on, Sheriff Campbell. I agree with you, Sheriff Pennell, and I think it gives the office holder of the office of sheriff the ability and the authority to make sure that his or her agency is run to the utmost
Standard.
ethical stand. And Sheriff, I know you want to dovetail on this, ethical standards, because if we were just regular Joe Blow office worker, factory worker, or construction worker, or whatever, you may not have that ability to weed those out of the agency, to weed those out of the profession that don't need to have the authority that the law invests in. You as sheriffs give us as deputy sheriffs. So, Sheriff, you got something along that line? Because I know you preach that every day.
I do. I think that's I have several, but we'll just hit a couple. One is, like I say, even in rookie schools now, you have a lot of recruiters from other agencies. If you go work for sheriff's office, you'll be fine. That is just like in North Carolina. Everywhere, you work at basically the pleasure of the employer in North Carolina, sort of the way it works. But we do not come in and just fire a bunch of people. We don't do it. But some may be pending criminal charges from past administrations, maybe investigations, and we owe it to the citizens. They've elected us to make those changes. The other thing I see is when people say, "Well, you're not a trooper. You can't stop me for speeding." Ultimately, a deputy
Got to have your hat on and write me a ticket.
Yep. A deputy, pretty much, I cannot think of a thing they really cannot do, from fishing license to speeding to civil, domestic violence, ex partes, evictions. There's a lot of stuff that we're empowered. A lot of people don't know that, to say, well, you're just deputy. Problem is, you're full law enforcement. So, and with the enforcement arm of the courts. So, and civil. So there's a lot of that's maybe a misconception.
And there again, just to maybe give some folks a behind the curtain look, the National Sheriff's Association has a huge presence in traffic enforcement and working wrecks. Now, in North Carolina, obviously we let the municipalities work those.
Well, we do
work,
we
work
interstate teams and we do it.
But to work the traffic accidents, we have the highway patrol. It's not that we can't. It's just that we divvy those. We've worked well with other agencies, kind of letting them do what they do. So excellent.
I come to find, though, in my county, if you have a traffic issue, they still call the sheriff.
They do.
And
Oh, yeah.
They know
And
the
you
highway
gotta
patrol's
help 'em.
there, but we still got to do. I know that the sheriff prior to me, Ray Warren or Hayden Bentley, neither one of them liked radar, would have radar, but it's a necessity now. Not everybody in my office has a radar, but there's several that do,
And it's a tool.
and they have to. We have to enforce some things sometimes.
All right, excellent. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, here's a good one. Sheriff Campbell, I'll let you answer this first, and then the Sheriff Pennell. How do you build trust with communities that are skeptical of law enforcement?
Open, honest, transparent, and do what you said you was going to do, and have an open ear so you can hear them, such as the app, Facebook. If they give you information, you can follow up with it. It don't matter if it's 8 o'clock at night, if it's something urgent to a family, you got to act on it. You got to call somebody and make sure that your people can handle it, and handle it yourself. So I think that probably covers about a lot of it in small detail.
And Sheriff Pennell?
The only thing I would add is you have to listen to them.
Yep.
You have to take the time. That's what a sheriff does. Take the time and sit down and listen to them, and hear their concerns, and then talk to them about the law and how we enforce the law, and
Some
why
education.
we do the things that we do. And I think it goes a long ways.
And there again, just to add my 2 cents from knowing you and working for you, both of you make sure that your deputies get out in the community while
Yes,
they're working. They
absolutely.
do school walkthroughs, they do business checks. We do church shield, we do threat assessment where you make our folks available to everybody in Iredell County and even outside of Iredell County if asked to come to put those programs on. So very good.
Yeah.
All right, Sheriff Pennell, ready?
I'm ready.
What does accountability look like in your office when a mistake is made?
That's interesting because we just had a command staff meeting today, and I sort of addressed that. And your office is bigger than mine. I think I've got like 120 employees. So everything shouldn't come across my desk. There should be things that the captain or the major or the lieutenants are going to take care of. And it shouldn't come to me until it's taken care of 9 times out of 10. And that's the reason I meet with that staff and say, hey, this is what I expect, or this is things that I'm seeing that needs to be addressed, and let them address or take care of those issues or those problems so they, I don't have to deal with it or have to see it, if that makes sense. And then if it's not getting dealt with, then I go to the ones that should have been dealing with it, if that makes sense.
100%.
I think Bill knows exactly what I'm saying. Absolutely. I like to know, but there's certain things that you're paid and compensated to handle prior to getting me. If we need to make this change, handle it.
Yeah.
Here it is. Let me know how it goes. And if you have any issues getting it handled, then I'll step in. But otherwise, because if we stay committed to little small things and we can never give the support we need or to the families that really need us at a certain time, and there's only so many ways, so many hours in the day. So you got to have people.
That's
Like I
right.
say, we're 210,000 right at it. You've got to have people who can handle things before it gets, and that's what I say. So sometimes I write down notes. I've got a book anybody's come off. So hey, this day here's what I got to handle. I'll put a check and I'll go back and revisit it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
I've got a lot less people than you. I got about 38,000. So, I mean, I don't
still
have
keeps you busy.
but it does keep you busy,
All right. Sheriff Campbell, what types of crimes are increasing in your county and which ones aren't despite the headlines?
Well, I'll do on a 10-year basis. Obviously, our crime's down 57% with a 24% growth. But if you ask me what crimes we're seeing, just got on the way over here, scams. We can say it all day long, and we try to educate people. Had a while ago comments today, this guy said, I missed jury duty. He used your name. Scam. We're not going to call you. We're going to come see you, and we'll never ask for money. So I think really, violent crime, break-ins down. Knock on wood, order bail. Had to use an opportunity, but really what we're seeing in the victimization is our older population with scams.
Sheriff Pennell?
I would have to say 100%. Our crime is down as well. Break-ins or hit the bell. It doesn't happen as what used to, what I remember working them all the time in investigations, but the scams have grown tremendously.
Chad and Bill, I comment on that. We was just talking about this the other day. Used to you'd get most of it's county line intersections. Usually
Yes.
Alexander people coming over here to Iredell or whatever. No, we'll blame it on Davie. But anyway, they would come from out of county, break
Yes.
in 2 or 3 houses in the morning and head back.
Take off.
I remember getting assigned to work just one certain neighborhood. Now, there again, knock on wood or whatever, we don't have it. And I think it's the presence is the number one deterrent. We
agree.
keep a lot of people on the road. Flock camera, ring cameras. Now technology makes it so much easier to get the word out.
Yes.
But we're not seeing that.
No.
All right. Wow. Upcoming is a big question. Two questions. One, we
It's
may
a big one. You ain't gonna have enough time.
we may have. Well, let's do this. How does your office, Sheriff Pennell, how does your office work with local police departments and state agencies?
Great. We depend on them. Being a smaller office, we will, they'll come and back us up. We'll come back them up. Highway Patrol backs us up on stuff. I remember, like we talked about before,
Yes, sir.
we was by ourselves sometimes.
We
And,
were.
if it wasn't for a trooper or a PD guy showing up,
Occasional wildlife officer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you would be in some big trouble. We have a good relationship.
I think we do, just like a while ago when you come to the office, you got the first sergeant in my office. We was already making Highway Patrol works well, worked great. Mooresville, Statesville, Troutman. Josh does a great job. Some I'd like to be better, just sort of like the Biffle plane crash, the mobile command bus, Highway Patrol requested. Some people don't understand why is it there. It's for all of us to work together and make sure that we're safe and can go home. So obviously we'd all like to be just one big happy summit. It's like brothers and sisters. Sometimes it just don't work that way.
You're exactly right.
All of us make mistakes, but we just got to keep and pursue. But overall, it's pretty good. We need something that's done.
All right, you two guys have done good. Listeners, we're going to go for round 2, a lightning round, when we come back in about 2 minutes. Thank you today for your time.
Well, everybody, welcome back to the Good, the Bad, and the Guilty. Bill, Chad as well.
Short
Our
as
last,
hour.
I can't believe we've already been here 45
Yeah,
minutes.
it's quick.
talking. So, Bill, I know you're about to bust a gut to answer these questions. So you've been saying, yeah. So
I got them.
hey, we're gonna try. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, listeners. So what we're doing, if you just turned in, I have Sheriff Pennell from Alexander County. Obviously, you know Sheriff Campbell from Iredell County. And we're doing lightning round questions for these two gentlemen because it's nice to have both of them here today. All right, Sheriff Campbell, I'll let you start with this one. How hard is it to recruit and retain deputies right now?
It is very hard to recruit and retain the right deputies. I can go out here. You've always heard me say I'd rather have a vacancy than I would a liability.
Mm-hmm.
I can hire probably 2 officers that's got questionable past and just casually float through. Pay them probably a little bit less money, or I can hire 1 officer at a good salary to do everything that I need him to do. So, defund the police was good. Actually, you've heard me say this for law enforcement drive people that didn't want to be in the profession out.
Correct.
But now we've got to compete. I've got hunters from Cornelius that advertise all-time highs here, Cornelius. While we enjoy a 57% reduction in crime, I've got to have those officers that's capable of achieving those numbers. And that's one thing I constantly tell the commissioners. Hey, I understand different departments. I understand this. Law enforcement's a tough business. It's harder to get good people that can handle. If your family's a victim of violent crime, you want an officer that's capable of writing a good search warrant, collect evidence, speak on behalf of the family at the same time, present a case to the district attorney for prosecution. And that comes with a premium. And, I'll go right back. It's been said I've always heard you get what you pay for.
Sheriff Pennell?
I would have to just
Easy
say
now. Easy now.
I just have to say
Go ahead,
exactly.
Chad. This is a no spin zone.
All
I'll
right.
probably get sued for that, but whatever.
So
along, okay.
most of the officers that worked at Alexander County Sheriff's Office now work at Iredell County Sheriff's Office. I think it was
Easy-
up to
easy, you two. Easy, you two.
75. I think it was 75 at one time. Now it's not been that way lately. Our
Y'all
commissioners
done a
have-
good job.
Our commissioner have done a good job, and our pay has come up. And but it's good. You got good officers. A little bit different. Alexander County is not as specialized. We don't have as many specialized things. Those officers that are working patrol, they're doing all kinds of things like a detective would do over there, where you've got a little bit more people to use. It's a little bit different, so they get rounded a little bit quicker, if that makes sense. And then you got people that want to grab them up really quick after they get that experience, and they've worked a lot of different things.
You just sold something. I was just saying, our HR person, that's what we've been talking, the market, so they've done it for years, and that's what we're trying to say. You may classify them as a patrol deputy. I may have them on pay as a patrol deputy, but the guys that say your guys is doing crime scene, they're doing all that investigating in the capacity of patrol deputy.
That is right.
Over here, the call volume is we specialize. We will send crime scene to crime scene.
Yeah.
But when I have opening for, say, sex offender compliance officer, I need the experience. You've already paid for that experience, but I cannot get sometimes our HR to understand that you have them do all that over there, and I need to hire that experience to get them in a good, to be successful here, because they don't have nobody those qualifications. That has
Absolutely.
been one of the biggest, hardest things to explain to some of our HR people about the position, and that's why the people elect us to make these decisions.
And to explain why. The why is the big thing. I'm not going to say his name, but I got lucky enough to hire somebody that had retired from another agency, 30 years. Still, he's my age, young, still wanted to, and he came.
My age and young, I appreciate
But
that.
he
young.
is, and he started, he got promoted up to, all the way up to sergeant, and he should be making more than what he's making with the experience he has. I mean, he's got pretty much the same experience I've got, minus being the sheriff. And that's hard for HR and them to understand sometimes and navigate through. Well, no, you're bringing him in down here. Well, yeah, you might think he needs to be down here, but he's not really down here. He needs to be on up here.
That's where a bureaucrat wants to tell you gentlemen what experience is and what it's quantified as, when we all know a good, well-trained officer is a wonderful asset to any agency.
Absolutely.
And Chad, and listen, we work well, but sometimes that is a position, Sheriff. We're really not. We don't have to answer to the board nor the
right.
county manager, but we do answer to the citizens.
That's
and,
right.
And I would much rather be able to tell a citizen, I solved your family this violent crime, and here's why, because we had good officers. I'd much rather, just like when we had the Mr. Ferguson, the missing juvenile, have off, hey, I want to come work that and understand, and I can believe when they sit there and tell me they've done this or they're going to apply for a search warrant, I don't have to second guess it, read it. I know they've got the qualifications, but it is hard to explain to somebody that wants to say, no, you're not going to do that, and here's what benefits our citizens. And that's just sort of got off your track. But that's the
You're
truth of the
perfect,
law.
Sheriff. And actually, my next question kind of dovetails with that. Sheriff Campbell? No, Sheriff Pennell.
My turn, I think.
What makes a great deputy sheriff? Both of you have been deputy sheriffs. What makes a great deputy sheriff in your two opinions?
Got to have good common sense. Got to have the knack of being able to talk to somebody, because we talk to people that are in both extremes, calm, relaxed. They're a victim of a crime. They're going to be upset, or the person that is just mad at the world and is not wanting to comply or talk to anybody. And I think, in my opinion, the more you learn how to talk to people, the more you get better at that and understanding how to read them and how to navigate that makes that officer invaluable. I mean, that's the one thing that I tell them. The more you can talk to people, the more you learn how to talk to people and get that experience, you're going to become a great officer.
Sheriff Campbell?
I think compassionate, honest, caring. you have to understand, it's like sort of like what Chad said. You can be at a call where you just had a natural death of a 90-year-old woman, or to a wreck where you're pulling for the highway patrol and got an 18-year-old child killed.
Yes.
We have to have people that want to do this job first. I mean, and they have to be. That's just a tough question. Just
It is.
good people that has the education, the drive, the ability to get the mission accomplished, and at the same time understand that there's people in a lot of bad places that they don't mean to be there, but we've got to have sympathetic here. We've got to be able to. I always say that I don't think there's no problem a deputy sheriff can't figure out for you, or at least direct you to resources.
That's
And I
right.
tell our guys that, and it's like we hadn't talked about, well, we sort of have, but over the jail, and I'll be the first to tell you, I don't know if everybody in jail is guilty or not. And we got locked up on reason, but you don't know. And it's a tough decision, but I just think you got to have good, honest people that'll go beyond
Absolutely.
themselves, or go beyond anything to help anybody.
And Sheriff, just to kind of go along with what you said, today we interviewed a young lady that may come on as an intern, and you asked the question.
She's not from Alexander, Chad.
Yeah, she's not.
Well, that's good.
And you asked the question, well, why do you want to do this? And she never missed a beat. She goes, well, I want to help people. And I know that us old timers, and I'll say old timers because we all have been here a while, you kind of say, oh, that's cliche. But if you don't have a heart or a desire
right.
to want to at least help people, this is not the job for you.
No.
Because you may have to help them, as you say, Sheriff, find an answer to a civil question. You may have to help them find an answer to if a loved one is having a mental health crisis. You may have to be that person that's talking them down literally off a bridge if they're trying to harm themselves. You have to have it at the core of what you are, the desire to help.
Well, both
So
y'all
I do
know,
agree with
Chad
that.
worked narcotics, you did, I have.
Mm-hmm.
I have talked more dope out of more people than I've ever searched it.
That's right.
More confessions.
Oh, yeah.
You because if you can talk to people,
Yes.
and everybody that's listening now that I've ever charged back in my interdiction days will tell you, most of it you could talk, being honest with people, a lot more than you could ever search it.
Absolutely.
And interviews, homicide, sitting there, just
Yes.
the way it works.
All right, so, 3 minutes left. All right, gentlemen, here's the big question.
I'm ready.
You ready?
I think.
Okay. What made you want to become sheriff?
I got mine.
Go ahead, Chad.
Nobody
I'll let
answered
you
at the
go.
same time. I mean,
got
come
it.
on,
Go
let's
ahead.
have-
I'll let you go.
So when I retired as captain. I felt like I was done. In my mind, I felt like I was done. Then that next day when I didn't get up to go to work at the sheriff's office, I was like, you made a bad mistake. I'd prayed about it, could not get settled that I was just completely done. And all I can say is the good Lord said, you got to do this. And I couldn't get away from it. The more I prayed about it, the more it hit me in the face. So I just jumped in with all fours. It's the only thing I knew to do at that point. And I got lucky enough to get elected, and I enjoy my job every single day. And I feel like I've got still a lot left to give.
You do. Sheriff Campbell?
I think what the initial was probably is Leroy Revis back then was in middle school. Came talking about, just a speaker of the civics class. I can't remember. Talk about the office of sheriff. I grew up mechanicking, wanted to do that, and then I made the mistake of riding a ride along.
Yep.
And steady progression, and and that's where I come.
So
to.
that was a good mistake to ride along.
Yeah, it was a good mistake. And then sort of like Chad, it's funny Chad would say that, but it did the same thing. I prayed about it, thought about it before I was running. I said, I got a family, kids, wife, and what am I going to do if you look, what happens? I still got 8 more years left, and then. That was probably 20 days. I was already thinking about doing it. Knew I wanted to do it. I had the ability, had the knowledge. I can handle it. And Chad's talking about praying, and then all of a sudden, I'm riding down the road, and come to me right behind me and said, "Hey, you got this. You're going to be fine. You got sports,
Yeah.
you got faith, you got the community." And I think that's when I said I'm all in. And look back since it just happened.
That's right.
Been the best decision, probably the most fulfilling. I'm like Chad. When you get to do this job, and if you really love law enforcement, and Chad obviously admitted he's the same way, is you worry more about the day you got to retire.
Absolutely.
There's never been days. You've had bad days,
Yes.
but I've never had a day that I didn't get up and say, "Hey, I'm ready to come to work." I enjoy home, but I don't want the weekends to be long. I'm ready to come back and do something. That makes it
Absolutely.
easy.
It does make it easy.
Well, gentlemen, Sheriff Pennell, thank you so
I've
much for being
enjoyed
with
it.
us today. I know we tried to do this a couple weeks ago, but schedules didn't work.
Stuff
Sheriff
happens.
Campbell's always good to be back with you, sir.
Chad, I hope you had fun.
I did have
I
fun.
think we'll have to do this again. Daniel Hall.
I'd love to come back.
He said
because I got more questions.
I know we got a bunch.
That sounds good. Maybe
Ladies and
next time.
gentlemen, thank you so much for taking your time to be with us today on The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty. Hope you learned something about the Office of Sheriff and these two fine gentlemen. We'll see you next week in WSIC, The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty. Thank you so much for tuning in.